We are
Okay.
going live.
Oh, yes, I see.
You see?
Oh,
All right, so
I
you can
see
share
it.
it. You can share it as you want, and I will too.
Okay.
So everybody, welcome back to Your Own University TV. This is the last or the second to last interview that I'm going to do on really embodying who you are and the secrets of being who you are. And I'm really excited to talk to Lilith here. We met facilitating, moderating for a major, a really large, profound group on Facebook, like 80,000 people are in it. And it grew really fast, and we were there in the beginning. And then it got really controversial, and then it got really interesting, and then it got more controversial and more interesting. Right? So we've been walking through this like embodiment of other things too. And through it all, Lilith and I have just connected and shared our stories. And they're not always ones that are mainstream, like acceptable, right? And looks pretty and or makes sense. And it really is a deeper trusting. I've watched Lilith like go into this deeper trusting of herself and really risk everything, including her marriage to a little degree, and or a lot degree, you can explain that. And and we were just talking as we jumped on here, like about her name change and how she's had some pushback, some resistance, that resistance that we talked about. So we had another interview and we talked about resistance, and yesterday we talked about really knowing yourself, and that there's going to be resistance as we get to know ourselves. And so she had resistance on her name change. And I've gone through a couple name changes. So if any of you guys have been listening to me for 20, 30 years, you've seen me be Lisha, then you saw me be Antika, and now you see me be Lisha again. And like, what does that mean and why and blah, blah, blah. We can talk about that as well. But as always, I don't know where this conversation is going to go. We're just having a conversation about embodying our own truth as we discover and learn our own truth and create a relationship with heaven on earth, like the truest, authentic relationships that we can have within ourselves. And how that looks messy and resistance and like weird. And at times you don't feel like, you're not normal. It's not normal when we're ourselves. And I just feel I have to tell this one more thing, you guys, as you're listening, is this morning I was having a conversation with one of my teens, and her just like, I just want to be normal. Like, why can't I just be normal? And I think the sooner that we all realize, like, there is no normal, there's no such thing, right? Then we can all have the freedom to just really love and take care of and not try to fit into whatever normal is, but really enjoy our lives and each other's abnormality, right? So anyway, Lilith, welcome to this Anchoring Heaven to Earth series.
Thank you.
I'm going to share around. I just want to invite you to just share your truth. Yeah.
Ooh, my truth.
Your truth.
I'm working on it still, but yeah, my truth is about following your path, no matter how crazy it seems or sounds. So yeah, the name Lilith Rose, that's a name change for me too. I do go by the name Gina. Most people call me Gina, in my day-to-day life. But I am this being Lilith Rose, and I've always been her. But now it's just time to incorporate her in. Because I'm Gina, I'm Lilith, I'm whoever else I've been. But it's time to incorporate her in. I've had a little struggle with that. A lot of people take that name and associate it with negative connotations if you do research on that name, as far as goddess myths go. So I've had to deal with some issues with that. First, not really understanding myself, who I was, and really, really just happened to just kind of battle and figure it out. Took a little while, but
what are some of the things that
I'm
you
here.
did? What are some of the things that you did during that battle? Because I think that, we're just expected. We're just expected to like know who we are, to like be able to walk our own authentic talk, to be able to connect, to be able to trust, to be able to do all these things. And what I found is my childhood, my life didn't teach me how to do any of those things. Like nothing. I mean, I can add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And well, maybe sometimes with a calculator.
Right.
but I wasn't taught how to really trust. I wasn't taught how to trust myself. I wasn't taught how my body needs to eat. I wasn't taught how I rebel when I'm scared or when I'm trying to be controlled, and in order to take back control. I wasn't taught all these things that I do, right? I wasn't taught coping skills. So there's so many things in order to get to this place of self-trust and really choosing who we are. And I think that there's also so many different paths. So what were some of your paths to this self-discovery you just talked about? That worked
in my case, it took me well into adulthood to really try to discover and figure it out. For me, it really started with my spiritual path. A lot of research, a lot of meditation, practicing, because you're not taught how to connect. You're not even taught to be yourself. You're just taught to conform and fit in. And, like you said, your teenager said, I just want to be normal. That's what is pounded into your head, your whole life while you're growing up. And it took me.
If you're not whatever this normal is, then you're wrong.
Then you're wrong. Absolutely. And it has taken me, it was about 5 years ago that I really started to realize that, hey, I'm not normal, and I'm just gonna let it out there. I really started using this name Lilith Rose more and more. I'm sort of on this path of, even though it feels a little risky sometimes, I'm on this path of, this is who I am. You take it or leave it. I've come across the people that, you have your set of beliefs or the way you do things. Mine are on that spiritual side, and I've come across a lot of people who they don't understand it. They don't want to talk about it, or they want to make fun of me. I've been called all sorts of things. And some of them are very good friends that, they just, I guess they just don't realize what they're saying. So through a lot of work, a lot of self-love work, a lot of trying to connect with my inner child, a lot of that, therapy, meditation, just talking it out, just even like standing in the mirror and talking to myself about how much I love myself, and say who I am. Kind of all is just now coming together. I'm starting to feel whole, like it's all coming together. And you even have helped me with that. We did that little, we did that session.
We did the soul seeding.
Yes, we did the soul seeding.
We did sessions. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
That was beautiful. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
On all accounts. And my foot feels better.
Yay.
Took a long time for that
It does.
to work
Yes.
itself out, but it did.
I'm glad it feels better.
Thank you. Thank you. So when it comes to a name, and we were talking about this yesterday, Angel talked about the different she was talking about astrology really helping her discover herself. And she was talking about the different personalities of the planet and those different personalities like within you. And in psychology, we talk about different characters a lot, right? And we have like different characters. And then we've also talked in this series about like the different levels of soul or different levels of consciousness, right? That we're all integrating to really stand in our wholeness and our fullness right now at this time, at this precipice on the planet. And so I think a name is just such a unique conversation. And when you said it this morning, I was like, but the more I think about it, the more it holds so much. Like in numerology, they do a name. It's a big deal with just the energy of words, right? As a name.
Yes.
I had a really hard time coming back to Lisha, and I was actually in France integrating what my coach calls her Frenchie, my Frenchie, and just the feminine beauty, love, self-care energy, right? And doing deep, deep inner child work. And for me, the shifting back to my given name or part of it, I won't ever go back to Lisha Ann, but Lisha Antica works for me, has really helped me to claim that energy and integrate the inner child. But I could not do that until I did, 20 years of inner child work and got multiple degrees in it. It was deep work for me because I had a shit childhood, better than some for sure, but not the greatest in the world. And it was really hard for me. And I have people that when I changed my name to Antica when I was in college, they were like, no, I'm not going to ever call you Antica. And then I had friends from that called me Lisha, met me as Lisha, that will not call me Lisha again now. They're like, you're always going to be Antica. So I just let people pick. How are you kind of handling that? And then the other thing that I said, how can we not bring it up? But there's this like kind of, is it split personality disorder? Like you have, is it like this person and that person where you're like invaded by an alien and like, it's not really yourself and you're like denying yourself and it's just about denial. And I say it that way and like in jest everybody listening, because it's like, I don't think that that's our journey at all.
No. Sorry.
So anyway, tell us more about the vibration, the energy, maybe even how you picked it.
Well, I didn't pick it. It picked me. Through a series of synchronicities, a combination of things, meditations, readings with a trusted medium that I'm very good friends with, my own inner voice chiming in, also past life regressions. I come to find that my higher self, my you would call it your soul. Because we are a soul, we have a body. So the highest version of me, the highest self, I was told that there was a name. The first I was told, the name is Rose.
Yeah.
That is an angelic name. That was the original name. I'm assuming that's like a translation. I'm assuming that's what it would translate to in human English, I guess. And then just a little while later, I get this thrown at me. Oh no, that's not your whole name. Your name is Lilith Rose.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, and started to research that and look into that and find out about this name Lilith, and finding a lot of bad press about her, um, which was really kind of a shock to me at first. I was like, okay, this is me. This isn't me. It wasn't me. It's not me. So I just had to take a little time and incorporate that in, and really, that's really, I think, where all of the self-love work comes in, to realize, it doesn't matter what anyone else says. It doesn't matter. I know I'm good. I know I'm light. I know I'm love. And I just really had to work on that for a while. And then there's this connotation of with this name of power.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I am learning how to integrate this power and become a whole Lilith, Rose, Gina, because I've always been this being. I didn't know, I didn't remember,
Yeah.
I wasn't, no one told me. I had to figure this out on my own. So there's this connotation of like a power, and I am trying to learn how to just embrace it and embody it, and realize that I am in control of my reality. I am the one that's going to bring about all the change that I want. Um, yeah, it's about embodying that power, knowing who you are, manifesting what you want, and really just being love. I mean, isn't that why we're here? I mean, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's you said a couple really great things, and one of them is like this relationship with power. And then also the energy behind the name. So the people, the relationship to the name. I mean, can you imagine like having a name? Well, I say it coming from like my original name is Lisha, right? So and then I pick Antica. So I say this from this perspective, guys. But like, okay, well, my youngest daughter, I went to the store when I was giving her birth, and I bought a whole bunch of lilies. Like, I was literally in labor, guys. This was like the stupidest thing. And I decided I wasn't in labor. And I went to the store and I got like comfort food I never would have bought. And I bought a ton of lilies, and I didn't know that they were lilies.
Yeah.
And I was so sure that she was a boy. I hadn't thought of a girl's name. It was a completely different pregnancy. We didn't go and see her anything. So she came out as she, and there was lilies all over the place. Like they spoke to me, these beautiful lilies, right? So we named her Lillian. Yes. Well, then guess what? Everybody's name is Lillian, right? Everybody. Yep. So it's like when you have that, like you could embody the entire world. If you're a John, if you're a Matt, if you're a Smith, if you're a, and so there's a uniqueness to unique names. Yeah. There's also an energy behind every name. And just because we have a name, I don't think necessarily means that we are each other's souls, right? We're not embodying each other's souls. But there is an energy behind that name. There's a legacy behind that name. And that blessing that you got from Lilith, from what I'm understanding, even if you totally do embody that soul, is like, oh, I don't like what that energy, what that power was doing, right? Whatever it was. And I've never researched the name, so I don't even know the story. And same for like Lisha. For Lisha, I was named from the story I remember after Elisha, Elijah's sidekick in the Bible, right? They just dropped the E. And then it spelled the same, Lisha. But they dropped it, I think, because I was a girl. But anyway, that's what my mom was reading. And so, you know, there's an energy, there's a story. If you can go and get those like name stories done. Hey, how do you embody that energy and that power to understand your name? Like if you're named John, I don't know why I keep going off on this, but there's a point I have to make, I guess. But like if you're named John and you look at like all the powerful Johns that have ever lived.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
You're like embodying that. And there's been so much misuse of power.
Yes.
But I think power really does scare a lot of people because we don't know how to trust ourselves. Well, they couldn't be trusted if mom and dad couldn't be trusted, if that energy, that powerful spirit, that powerful president, powerful whatever couldn't be trusted with his power. Who am I?
Right. Absolutely.
And then we shy away, we back off, and oftentimes that's when the power takes over, I think.
Yeah.
Instead of us being in it. Anyway, I'll let you go off on that now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's I agree with you. I think we're afraid of the power that we truly do have. We have been disconnected from it for so long that we forgot. We just conveniently have forgotten that we do have power, and scary. It's scary.
Yeah.
I am just trying to live from my heart. In my case, I feel like any decision I make, things I'm doing, you know, I want it to be, I don't want harm to come to anyone, you know, harm to none, abundance for all, the highest good. So I really just am trying to look at everything from my heart at this point. And if it doesn't feel right, I'm going to let it go. But if it does feel right, I'm going to pursue it. And
Cool.
I don't think you can go wrong that way.
Yeah, no, I don't either. So how do you, because this is a topic again, like some people have like heart and head marrying, some people are heart and gut marrying, right? Some people are just heart and like the galactic energy and like everything. Other people are like, oh, heart and stars and like knowing yourself, right? So there's so many different ways to know that we're connecting from heart and come from that place. And I think that it's good to just share like, oh, well, this is how I know, this is my discernment, how I know I'm coming from the heart, or how I know I'm coming from my highest intention.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Oh, sorry, I have a visitor.
I see.
For me, it's heart and gut a lot. A lot of the time, the two seem to be intertwined. I always get that feeling, or that knowing, that feeling like in the pit of like around your solar plexus area, whether it's a good feeling or a bad feeling. I go off of that quite a bit. And then there's the little voice. You know, I do listen to the little voice, which I am assuming is my higher self, or my guides, or galactics, or whatever you want to call them. You know, I pay attention to that. I pay attention to the little ping, and doesn't steer me wrong. It's it's good. It's good. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So this relationship with control is another one that has been coming up because we have a shit ton of uncertainty right now. I mean, it's just everywhere.
Yeah.
And then like for me, it's been coming up because I have to be in charge or responsible for other human beings that are not wanting to be responsible for themselves.
Yeah.
Or work with me, you know, don't want me in charge of them, but don't want them in charge of them either.
Right.
Yay, teenagers. And so, you know, and then we have our relationships, and then we have our jobs, and you know, we can't be in control of somebody else's happiness. We can't be in
Right.
control of somebody else is going to be honest with us. We can't be in control of somebody else's heart, and if they're listening to their heart. We cannot be in control of so very much in this world.
Yeah.
And as far as emotional intelligence, I know controlling bodies, worshiping bodies, like all that codependency like stuff is very low, very slow moving, very bleh, like bleh, moving. But at the same time, when we move it up the scale and we're having that different relationship with control, where it's not a push, right? And we're not being controlling, but we're being in alignment, I think is the word that's used a lot for controlling what we focus on, controlling where we're at, controlling the fact that, oh, I am going to reach out to my friend over here because this just blew up in my face, right? I am going to commit to this relationship. I am going to choose this or choose that, or eat right, or work out today, or like anything that we can control our own actions around. This is another form of power. So how, in these times of uncertainty, like you use the word power and then you use the word control, right? In this. So how are you practicing that control, and how are you accepting like the lack of it around you, or inability for us to actually like control anything other than self?
Yeah, you just you can't control anything other than the self. So, you know, that's what I'm doing. I am making the conscious choice. We have a choice. We always have the choice to be in fear or be in love. And I am consciously choosing to be in love. I'm not going down that fear road. That makes me feel calm, and keeps the faith that I know that I am being taken care of. And I know that the uncertainty will, at least in some cases, will end. Everything is going to keep changing and changing and changing.
We're always in a world of uncertainty. Just right now, it's just weird. It's
very weird. It's very strange. So I really feel like it's a choice. And, you know, I keep saying this to people. Turn off the news, please. Stop watching it. You know, you can make a choice what you want to focus on. You can focus on the good. You can focus on the life that you want to create, and how you want to treat people and how you want to be treated. You can focus on that. You don't have to focus on this, oh my God, you know, the sky is falling. Because if you focus on that fear, it's just gonna more and more, you're just gonna get more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really about making that choice, I really feel like. But, you know, control, you know, can't control any of that, but I can control my choice. And my choice is, let's just be in love. Yeah.
So what are some things that you do? Do you have like a daily routine or pattern that that helps you reconnect to that deeper sense of self-love and self-awareness? What are some of those things that you do on the regular that help you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Simple things. When I first wake up in the morning, before I get up, I always, at least, if nothing else, I always at least just say thank you. just say thank you, like just out loud or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And every morning I do try to take at least a little time. I know, but sometimes it's crazy in the morning, but I try to take a little time to call in my guidance, as you will, connect with my higher self, um, express gratitude, express, a lot of gratitude. And, I may surround myself with some light, some protection,
Mm-hmm.
um, grounding,
Mm-hmm.
maybe connecting into her, into Gaia, and then like connecting above. That's usually the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And when I have the time, I always try to go outside if possible, and it's not always possible to go outside, but try to go outside, just be outside. Um, that really helps a lot. And in this time of uncertainty, when a lot of people are not going outside, you're being told you can't do this and you can't do that.
Yeah.
It makes it really hard. I mean, even if I just go out in behind the house and sit like in a chair if I have to, or walk down the street or
And
something.
you live in a wonderful climate.
Yes. Yes, we're lucky because we have this climate here. Not everyone has that. I know. So like I said, you can't always go outside. You can't. I get it. Going out, and I practice a lot of energy clearing lately. For me, it can be as simple as making sure put my feet on the ground and just imagine light coming from above and just washing through, and then just washing away everything that is not mine. And just take it and let it go out of your feet and into the ground, and let it all go. See it go like into the center of the earth, and it'll get taken away. Just let it all go, which that's really, really, really helpful to do that. Especially, if you go out to the store, or if you do at the moment go to a job. I still do go to a job a couple days a week at the moment. Um, yeah, you gotta just like wash it all away, which when you get home. And
Yeah.
it really helps. It helps so much. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just yeah.
I love how you outline it because it doesn't have to be so complicated.
No.
Right? It doesn't have to look a certain way. I
Mm-mm.
think, and one thing I recommend to all my clients too is like setting that morning intention. I do
Yeah.
it before you wouldn't even know I'm doing it. Like I'm just laying there in bed. Like I
Mm-hmm.
might, just giving appreciation for being able to lay there another 5 minutes, right?
Yes.
Giving
Yes.
appreciation for just waking up and being able to restart,
Yeah.
especially after days like I had yesterday. And just allowing that refocus and intention setting, and it's huge. And I think it's
Absolutely.
most people, if not everybody, says like get outside, drink plenty of water,
Yes. Yes.
like there are
Mm-hmm.
just so many basic things like morning intention, evening's intention, gratitude, getting outside,
Mm-hmm.
drinking plenty of water, blessing your water, right? And then
Yes.
more
Yes.
more and more people are just like run this channel, like
Yeah.
clear the energy. And I know you do a lot of work, and our session was through hypnosis and
Mm-hmm.
regression and past life regression. So inner child, past life, and current life, and like all this stuff. That's your specialty in your training. And as we're integrating and we're clearing and trying to live healthier lives, I love using hypnotherapy. I love it. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's like one of my secret tools, right? And like Sacred Heart, I do work in the Sacred Heart and everything. So it's one thing that I really do enjoy. So do you want to talk about kind of that when we're talking about control and power and reintegration of that,
Mm-hmm.
and like how tools like hypnotherapy or tools like regression, and what regression means? Some people don't even know it, but I know for
Yeah.
me, um, I began in therapy going through regression to heal some pretty traumatic crap that I wouldn't have been able to heal or get to for I don't know how long, because it still took me 20 years to actually clear it. And actually, in all honesty, like it came up like 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, seriously? Like I'm dealing with this event again. Come on. This was like 10 minutes of the whole scheme of my life. Why? Right. But then we have this. And I think hypnotherapy is one of the most beautiful tools that we have to get off the hamster wheel. And I think regression is so not understood as far as a tool for that. So would you just talk for a bit about that? Because I think you're super talented and wonderful at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Any kind of work with the hypnotherapy, you know, when you're the one that is under, that gets you a direct line to the subconscious mind. That you know, that subconscious mind that hides in there and takes everything literally. That's your direct, it's like a direct link. I mean, what a great way to program yourself. Whether you are looking to change a habit, heal something, release something, all kinds of things. You go straight to that subconscious, and you can, you know, give it the instruction, and it takes it, and then it you know, gradually filters out to the conscious. Starts in the inside and then goes to the outside. I really think that's besides like doing like affirmations where you are, you know, repetition of something like I am healthy and whole, you know, that's another way, but you know, that's a lot of, and I do that too.
Repetitions.
That's a lot of repetition. I do that too.
And you really have to convince yourself. And
yes, you do.
For me, what I found with that, like there's a couple that I've been using since I was little because I love Louise's Hay's work.
Yes.
And that I like really believe, you know, that I can say it feels really good. And then there's others that I say, and there's just a little bit of like, and I have tried to push through those. I have tried to create my reality, and it actually does the opposite. Right? Like I will literally create the shit I do not want in my reality by affirming and affirming and affirming and affirming what I want while not believing it. And that's where I think that regression and hypnotherapy is something that just the way that you relax and you can get to that interior brain that we were forming between the ages of 0 and 12 really, but really 0 and 6, 7. And we can get in there and really shift it. Then that reality shifts on the outside.
Absolutely.
I have seen so many shifts, and it's worked for me. And then when you say the affirmations, they work a little better.
Right. Absolutely. Yes, I'm right there with you.
And the other one's like that, like surgery, right?
Yes. Yes. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. So what are some things, you know, maybe clients or people that have that? Because I think the unconscious mind, when we talk about the subconscious and unconscious, like so much all over the internet and in self-help and awareness and stuff. Oh, you just have to shift your unconscious and then you'll be a bazillionaire. Oh, you just have to shift your unconscious and then your friggin' man will show up or woman will show up. Oh, you just shift your subconscious and then you're fucking living on a yacht and, you know, super rich and famous, or have 12 kids or whatever you want, right?
Or whatever.
Shift your unconscious. And when it comes down to it, I've had a lot of conversations about this. And although they put that in their marketing, never happened.
Right.
It's never fucking happened. And so I think that it's a big lie. I think it's a big lie. I think it's a hurtful lie. I think it's something that people use to sell shit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And by doing that, it cheapened it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally going off. This is my own personal opinion, everybody.
I agree. It's true. It's true.
Cheapened it, but the power of healing,
yeah,
and the power of freedom and that peace that you were talking about, and the ability to have control, like healing PTSD, right? So now I can control my reaction to something that once would have completely made me lose my mind and regress to a 5-year-old, right?
Mm-hmm.
I no longer do that because of this subconscious inner work. But when it comes to shift your subconscious so you think that you are super, super rich and you're so worthy and valuable and you're going to make $1 bazillion or have the perfect body or your mind or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I personally have never, ever talked to somebody who did that without like the affirmation and the action.
Right.
Right after it.
Right.
Like it didn't just like magically delicious comes to mind. I don't know. What commercial is that? Magically delicious.
Lucky Charms or something, I think.
Yeah, I smell like friggin' Lucky Charms, right? And so it shortchanges the true power of getting this internal work and the actual freedom, the true freedom, internal freedom that it can have, and it makes it hard for people to really trust that shift with all these super grandiose, egotistical, ego feeding
coming at you, all the time
results that people are proclaiming.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, talk on that.
Yeah, gosh, I totally agree with you. I mean, you know, it's never ever been about that for me, and I agree with you. You know, you see that out there, and I'm like, we're not there yet. We're not at that point yet where instant manifestation, you know. I believe we're going to get there, but we're not there yet. Yeah. There's got to be, like you said, the affirmations. There's got to be action. If that's the kind of stuff that if you're going for, if that's what you're into, you know, you want to use the subconscious to be rich and famous or whatever, you know.
That's just what's out in the marketing, you know.
Absolutely.
So
and I don't agree with it either.
In the marketing, and when it comes to actually knowing yourself and healing yourself, like there's so much, I think, more valuable work when it comes to shifting your subconscious and doing work with people like you that is going to allow you to just really understand yourself more, have more freedom, have more trust to trust your reactions.
Trust your reactions, yes.
Right? Trust yourself to be in control of yourself. And not let your mind, your memories, your random occurrences, some crazy spirit from the outside world, or crazy kids, or like, you know, what your husband does or wife does or girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, like control you. That happens in the subconscious mind. But the screwy part of the subconscious mind, guys, everybody, is that when it's forming, when you're getting your programmed, you're being told what to do, how to do it, and where to go by an outside force. So to be in control of yourself is like not expected. You're not even thought that you could be.
Right.
And you're being programmed from the outside world. So doing this internal work, I think, is paramount.
Absolutely.
To claiming your power and claiming that control.
Absolutely. Paramount for anybody. I mean, I think now anybody that's an adult right now walking this planet has been subject to that programming. From day one, it's pounded into your head. And it's like we have to go back now and, you know, erase that reprogram it, you know, flush it out, start again. I think anybody and everybody should try to do that. I mean, unless you're just a brand new, you know, maybe the brand newest of the children are not going to have to, you know,
but the
go
parents are
through
going
it.
to have to do it differently.
Absolutely.
Like it's really up to the parent to shift it, to be able to give that child that control. And at the same time, I'm learning. I tried this and I try to do it to the best of my ability. They can't.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it quietly, but like as children, we need that protection.
Yes.
We need the guidance.
Yeah, you need the
we
guidance.
Need to learn and be taught how to make proper decisions, how to be in control of ourselves, giving that permission, right? Of how to do it. It needs to be a friggin' class in school, at your university, right? How do you do this? And I think one thing that's great about regression is that there's the adult part of ourselves, right? I use it for reparenting. But there's that adult part of ourselves that can then go back and be like, let me hold you here while you feel all your feels. Let me hold you here while you whatever, right?
Yeah.
And the higher self can do that. Like there's so many different aspects to who we are that get overlooked. That is so important to reparent when
right,
when we're adults.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to parent that way. Like the
right.
kids
How do you do it?
are going to have to literally do that internal work and then change parenting. And it doesn't mean the opposite of free for all, let it be, unschooling, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's like feminism. It's like, it's the pendulum swing. And I see that and it's beautiful, but there's some place in the middle, I trust, that we can be strongholds and really help our children claim their power and learn how to control their emotions and thoughts through education, rather than telling them how to feel and when to feel it and what to feel.
Yes. Absolutely.
Or act, know, actions, how to react. Yeah.
Absolutely.
While still teaching what's appropriate, because
it's tough.
They just don't know what's appropriate.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I commend you.
I'm sorry.
I commend
like
you. You are.
I'm just like,
Mama. I mean, I
don't know. I'm like feeling like a total.
It's tough, girl.
Right now, but at the same time, it's like, here I am, and how can I know what I know about reactivity and consciousness and everything, and at the same time, just watch kids be kids. And kids are reckless. I mean, we just don't think, we think we'll last forever. We're going to live forever. There's no consequences. There's very little black and white, right? Like, I'm like, can we just get to our 20s?
It's all there.
Can we just skip forward? All right. But we can redo this, right? We can reclaim our power. We can reprogram our subconscious mind, and then those affirmations and things can work. So what is a way that somebody could get a hold of you to learn more about the work that you do in this realm?
Good question. There's more than one way. You can go to, there is a website, www.cqawellness.com. I am on there. You can find me on Facebook. I am under Lilith Rose on Facebook. You could talk to Lisha. She can find me. She knows where I am.
I do. I can hook you up. I'll PM you both.
And and I do have an email address you could send an email to. That is Lilith Rose Starseed @gmail.com.
Okay, easy. Lilith Rose Starseed gmail.com. Easy,
Yeah.
easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. Is there anything else that you want to say to the audience about embodying yourself, about control, power, hypnosis, any of that, regression?
Yeah, you know, we're all in this weird place right now where we're spending a lot of time inside, spending a lot of time with ourselves. Use it. Use this time and face yourself. Go ahead. If you can't, they keep saying, if you can't go outside, go within. Try it. Try to meditate. Try it. Try, just even if you don't know how and you can't, I don't have time, and all that people say all the time. Just sit down for 5 minutes and just pay attention to your breath. Just in and out. Let's use this time and let's all just face ourselves. Let's go within, and I think everybody's going to find their power that way. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're gonna need it. We're gonna need it. Let's do it.
For sure.
Let's do it. Rah, rah, let's do it.
Do it. Let's do it. Raise the vibe of the earth. Well, thank you so much for being on this program. It was so funny, everybody, because she was in the vision, right? And she's like, I don't know why. No, you're not the only one that's like, I've never even done this before. What do you mean? And then like the times and dates didn't show up and I just couldn't get her. I'm like, who is it? Who is it? Who's going to take place? What else? Blah, blah, blah. Why do we need to talk about this? I don't even know what we're talking about. Right. Where is she? Where is she? And then she was like, oh, I can do the 10th. And then somebody, like, before she said yes, came in and it just felt so good. I was like, yep, that's the person that was supposed to be on the 10th. And then I was like, can you do the 9th? And because she's like, I can't do the 9th. And then her work shifted her schedule between like the week. It was like a week, right? And I was just like, because Spirit was not letting me let you off the hook. They were like, nope, that's the one. And I had some other people come in and I was like, I don't know. I just don't know. And then, your work changed. So it was divinely orchestrated and designed. I really thank you for your time and for being here.
I thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right, you guys. We'll be back tomorrow for the final day of this series, As I Know It. And if you like this, please subscribe to my channel. I do insights each week on fun little tips of living your truth and your life, listening to your life lessons, explorations, adventures, all this stuff on this channel. And I'm always open to suggestion too. Please subscribe, share this interview with your friends if it inspired you. Watch the rest of the interviews because they really do magically work together. I couldn't have planned it better myself. And just feel this vibe of really embodying who you are and your truth and stepping into your power and being in control of you. Talk to you soon.